All right, to our debate tonight, will these arrests contain, in a sense, the political fallout of the 2G scam? Let's begin with Abhishek Singhvi. Mr. Singhvi, it seems that there are a number of contradictory responses in relation to the 2G scam. You've had the government defend A Raja at several points. You've had the government take on the CAG report at different points. And now we believe that the Prime Minister has personally been in favor of arresting A Raja. When we step back and we look at your party and your government's position on A Raja, how should we read today's arrests?
Allow me to put some of this in perspective, Barkha. First of all, as a Congress party, we are not at all going to comment upon guilt or innocence issues. We are only happy that all those doubting Thomases who are extremely skeptical about the sincerity of purpose of this government and this UPA, Congress-led UPA, to take concrete action, they have been proved wrong. Independent, objective action is allowed to be taken. The law is allowed to take its own course, and you've seen something happening. Number two, it is impossible to prevent allegations of corruption coming out. The true test is what you do when they come out. On that test, Barkha, I can say without fear of contradiction, no party in India, national or regional, least of all the BJP, but no other party as well, has shown the consistent course of action when there are minimum credible prima facie allegations, much short of conviction, but have taken concrete action. That's only the Congress.
But Abhishek,
I'm not talking of Natwar Singh, I'm not talking of Adarsh, I'm not talking of Raja. I'm talking of an approach and a policy. Number three, just put it in perspective in half a minute. Mr. Sibbal attacked what was thought to be a notional presumptive figure. He may be right, he may be wrong, but he cannot and did not intend to and could not have given a clean sheet on allegations of nepotism. If today there is a FIR and a charge sheet, it is on a Prevention of Corruption Act. No minister can purport to give you a clean sheet on allegations of corruption.
Okay.
So that's a criminality. His is a presumptive figure. And there's a third element, procedure irregularity in the ministry. That's the subject matter of Shivraj Patil report. These three things should not be mixed up. And last but not the least, although this whole thing is in the domain from 2009, it is wrong to say 2 years and 3 years delay. It was in fact crystallized with a facts and all in one place, only in the CAG report, which is only 4 months old.
All right.
So although there is investigation prior to that, the focus has come in after the CAG report and thereafter Supreme Court monitoring, and you've had this result.
Okay, let me take that to Ravi Shankar Prasad in just a second. But Rajiv Chandrasekhar, you've been also very, very outspoken on this entire issue. Do you have any reason to believe that this process and this debate is now going to get more transparent? After all, you've seen a former Telecom Secretary, a former aide to the former Telecom Minister, and A Raja himself arrested. And Abhishek Singhvi is making the argument that Kapil Sibal was merely questioning the scale of loss and not the potential criminality of A Raja.
No, let me answer these in two parts, Barkha. I just want to point out to Abhishek that the word presumptive and notional are actually opposites. Presumptive means presumed to be real, and notional means not real. So I don't know where this new spin has started of clubbing these two words to indicate that the CAG report is presumptive notional. It is a presumptive loss that the CAG has put forward, and presumptive means in the dictionary presumed to be real. So let me go to the next point. I believe that the process that is now underway is in some sense going to give us some transparency because it is being supervised by the Supreme Court. Now, while the government can take credit for it and all of that can keep happening, but the most important reason for us not to be cynical and skeptical about this is the fact that the Supreme Court is supervising the CBI.
Right.
And the CBI's FIR, if I may just remind you, talks about a criminal conspiracy in the DOT that has caused enrichment to private companies and defrauding of the exchequer. So the CBI's case, being supervised by the Supreme Court, is extremely precise and clear. So we know the direction that they are going, which is to find out who created the conspiracy in the DOT, who benefited amongst the private companies, and how much was the loss that was lost by the government.